Tonight on Tom and B News for New Zealand, an Otaki man is in hospital after falling 30 metres from a tree.
Prime Minister John Key is in London to talk to David Cameron and Ed Miliband.
And police have admitted that they knocked down a motorcyclist during a high-speed chase.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. A new study shows that Auckland is tumbling down the world ranks of house affordability.
The annual demography survey measures house prices and Auckland's rating is 8.2.
House prices are cheaper than London, but expensive than New York or Boston.
An Otaki man who fell 30 metres from a tree is in hospital with serious injuries. He fell before 5 p.m. yesterday and was taken to Wellington Hospital.
13 people are expected to appear in court today after two out-of-control parties in Hamilton.
Police officers were pelted with bottles and forced to don riot gear as they fought 100 youths under control.
The flatmate is in question, and he is also one of the 13 people arrested.
Police have concerns for a missing 17-year-old Colombian student who was seen in Hamilton yesterday afternoon.
Police say Daniela Cortez left her home distressed state around 1 p.m. and there is a concern for her well-being.
Anyone who sees her to call 111 or the nearest police station.
Prime Minister John Key is kicking off his political year by going to London to meet British Prime Minister David Cameron and opposition leader Ed Miliband.
From there he will go to Bosnia-Herzegovina to chair a meeting of the Executive Committee of the International Democrat Union.
He will finish up his European political month by going to the WEF in Switzerland.
An aerial drop of 1080 is blamed for the death of the endangered birds in a South Island national park.
New Zealand First Outdoor Recreation spokesman Richard Prosser says 1080 appears to be killing birds it's meant to be protecting.
A blaze that covered about 1,000 square meters in Christchurch has been contained. The fire broke out at Spencerville Park but did not threaten any people or property.
Police have admitted that they knocked off a motorcyclist during a high-speed chase in Hawera.
A 43-year-old man will appear in court tomorrow on a number of driving and drug charges in the relation to the Friday night chase.
Senior Sergeant Kyle Davey alleged the motorcyclist tried to evade police.
At least 24 people are dead after a two-bus crash in Harare in Zimbabwe. At least 46 other people are injured.
And finally, this is going to be stupid. Somewhere in the United States, a teenager is marrying her dad.
Wow, this is real stupid. This reminds me when Zeus married his sister.
Well, we all know that it is stupid, but we have to let it go now. Traffic in Auckland, and it is free-flowing everywhere.
Let's get to the weather forecast.
Okay, that's all today. We thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Have a nice day, and we will see you tomorrow. Tonight on Tom and V News for New Zealand, an oversized truck has hit a bridge in the Hutt Valley.
A missing tourist has been found 14 kilometers away from his accommodation.
And the two fires in Wellington and New Plymouth have been contained.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. An oversized truck has hit a rail bridge in the Hutt Valley. It is the second time this month and it caused delays.
Police say the truck and trailer unit hit the bridge at Eastern Hutt Road at the Upper Hutt suburb of Silverstream at 8:30 a.m. this morning.
Buses will replace trains for today.
Fires in New Plymouth and Wellington have both been extinguished, and an investigation is now underway of how it started.
The fire at the New Plymouth chicken farm broke out at 5:45 a.m. this morning, and 10 firefighters came to the rescue.
The fire in Wellington happened at a meatwork factory at the suburb of Noronga, and everyone was evacuated.
A missing Chinese tourist has been found 14 kilometers away from where he disappeared on Monday.
Wang Dao went for a stroll in Green Bay area on Monday morning with no money or cell phone and didn't return to his accommodation.
He is dehydrated at the moment, but we hope he will be okay.
Police have identified the missing man who was dead at Bethel's Beach in Auckland. It was 24-year-old Johnny Faitawa.
He was swept away at 4 p.m. on Thursday, January 15th. His death will be referred to the coroner.
Blues winger George Moala is back in training with the team after being found guilty of assaulting Clifford Matoka. Weren't you supposed to be talking?
Sorry, Ben. The assault happened at Auckland K Road on December 20th, 2012.
He is allowed to travel with the team.
Weather for Auckland, fine and 26 degrees Celsius.
Traffic in Auckland, and it's clear.
That's all today. Please subscribe. That's all today. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. Lobbyists and opposition political parties are welcoming the idea of light rail through some of Auckland's main arterial routes.
Auckland Transport says it's investigating this idea on Queen Street, Simon Street and other Auckland roads is a good alternative to buses.
Most of those roads had trams running before they were removed in the 1950s. A public-private partnership could be a good way to fund it.
A 22-year-old man is in hospital with critical condition after falling through a roof in Taumarunui. He was flown to Waikato Hospital, sustaining substantial injuries.
Tensions between freedom campers and residents of Christchurch community are at breaking point. The residents also voiced their frustration at wild parties in the car park.
New Brighton Residents Association Chairman Steve Burke says it's a thorny issue.
The Christchurch City Council are now putting up no camping signs at the car park.
A proposed Skypath passageway could allow Aucklanders walk from the CBD to Takapuna, could cost $33.5 million New Zealand dollars to build it. If it goes ahead, the construction will be beneath
the Harbour Bridge. After 10 years of planning, the track is now getting closer to reality, with a potential opening date of 2016.
The submissions whether for it to go ahead closed yesterday, and there was 11,000 submissions.
A man in his early 20s died at a Gisborne beach after he drowned. Police were called at 10 a.m. to Makawori Beach, where 3 swimmers are in trouble. It's believed that another person is missing.
A trainer at a Les Mills gym in Wellington has died while working.
The 40-year-old instructor died at 6:20 p.m. yesterday, and Les Mills branch posted on Facebook saying, sadly, one of our beloved trainers has passed away. Let's get to the weather forecast for your part of the country.
Traffic in Auckland, and it is clear.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please subscribe and we will see you tomorrow.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. The SPCA has hit back at comments made by its Auckland Executive Director, which suggested dog attacks are related to the ethnicity of owners.
Bob Kerridge has come under fire after making the statement on Radio New Zealand National, with Mangere MP Sua Williams-Seo and Race Relations Commissioner Dame Susan Devoy.
His comments are labelled incredibly offensive, but the SPCA says it strongly disagrees with Mr Kerridge's comments and race has nothing to do with responsible dog ownership.
The man accused of killing a woman with an axe and injuring 3 others in Upper Hutt has been remanded for a psychiatric assessment.
Ray Temana Te Kora Nichols made a short appearance in the Wellington High Court this morning before Justice Robert Dobson.
The dead woman is Sandra Gurin, and she is 55 years old.
The heatwave that has bathed the country has also seen a spike in drownings, with 5 people dying in 3 days.
Two Gisborne brothers aged 19 and 23 were among the victims, as well as a 22-year-old man who tried to swim across the Waikato River.
Yesterday, a 42-year-old Invercargill man drowned at Bluffs Ocean Beach when he got into difficulty while collecting shellfish.
A New Zealand woman is among 6 skiers killed in an avalanche in the French Alps.
The group of 4 men and 2 women aged between 58 and 73 had been trekking at 7,900 feet in the Shiraz mountain range close to the border with Italy.
A man has appeared in court this morning in relation to a shooting and police chase which shut down the Auckland Harbour Bridge last night.
29-year-old Jess Samal from Manurewa has been charged with 6 offences, the most being the discharge of a firearm during a fight in a side street off Auckland's K Road.
A high-speed police chase followed and ended on the Harbour Bridge where the alleged gunman's car crashed.
A major crash has left several people injured and others trapped on the outskirts of Christchurch.
Police say 2 people got serious injuries and 2 received minor injuries when a truck and 2 cars collided on Main South Road between Rolleston and Templeton at around 11:20.
Let's get to the weather forecast for your part of the country.
Traffic in Auckland and it is clear.
That's all today, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe, have a nice day, and we will see you on Wednesday.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. The former head of Auckland's Heart of the City has admitted 4 charges of tax evasion. Alex Swinney pleaded guilty in the Auckland District Court this morning to the charges.
Last year, Swinney pleaded not guilty to 39 of knowingly not providing tax returns and tax forms to the Commissioner of Inland Revenue with the intention of evading tax assessment.
Today, those charges were replaced with 4 representative charges involving $1.8 million in unpaid taxes.
Small businesses and job growth will be the Labour Party's top priority for the next 2 years as it focuses on increasing wages and reducing poverty.
Labour leader Andrew Little delivered his State of the Nation speech in Auckland this morning, where he outlined the party's goals leading up to the next election.
Prime Minister John Key had already done his Nation of speech today.
A second man has admitted assaulting high-profile cricketer Jesse Ryder outside a bar in Christchurch nearly 2 years ago.
The 39-year-old builder made the surprise plea in Christchurch District Court today after earlier indicating he would defend a charge of assault.
He admitted an amended charge of assault with intent to injure.
Fire investigators are combing through a classroom which caught alight at Christchurch's Shirley Intermediate School overnight.
The small building used as a bilingual unit went up in flames around 9:30 p.m. and was brought under control around 11 p.m. following a concerted effort from a dozen firefighters.
Fire Service Southern Communications spokesperson Mo Barbara says an investigation is still underway to determine if the fire was deliberately lit.
A fire in the garage of a Danska Mobile outlet in the Auckland suburb of Mount Eden has been attended by 15 fire engines this morning.
The fire service was alerted of the blaze after 11:20 a.m. after a piece of furniture making equipment caught fire.
The building was evacuated and the fire has since been contained. Let's get to the weather forecast for your part of the country.
Okay, are we still using $2 cheap chairs?
I think we are, but we do need to get to the weather forecast now.
Traffic in Auckland, and it is a bit queued on the northern motorway, but do take care on the northwestern motorway because of the roadworks just after Te Atatu Road.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and we will see you on Friday.
This is Tom and B News for New Zealand.
Kia ora, good evening, and in developing news, National Northland MP Mike Sabin has resigned from Parliament effective immediately, following reports he had been the subject of a police investigation.
In a short statement released by the party this afternoon, Mr. Sabin said the decision to resign was because of personal issues that were best dealt with outside Parliament.
Mike will not make further comment on this issue.
Also in developing news, Green co-leader Russell Norman is also standing down from the party, effective from May. He says he wants to spend time with his family.
To other news now, and a lockdown has been lifted and a student arrested after threats were made to Miami High School on Australia's Gold Coast.
Concerned parents gathered at the school's front gate while police in bulletproof vests patrolled the area.
The threat was made by the Year 9 student at 11:20 a.m. local time.
3 people have received moderate injuries in a crash on State Highway 1 in Canterbury.
An ambulance spokesperson said a car and a van collided just out of Orari around 5:15 p.m.
Police at the scene said it's the second crash on this stretch of road which sees motorists reduce their speed from 100 km to 80 km per hour.
Air New Zealand has resumed its discount night rider service for a limited time after the company scrapped the service early last year.
From February 20th to March 19th, customers can purchase a seat on the late night service between Auckland and Nelson or Auckland and Christchurch 5 days a week.
Tickets cost $29.
Police are calling for witnesses to come forward after a pedestrian died while he was hit by a truck near Tauranga.
Police believe the man stepped from the shoulder of the road into the path of the truck, which was travelling towards Katikati along State Highway 2 at Te Puna.
Emergency services were called to the scene around 7:05. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Weather in Auckland, and it is 26 degrees, low of a warm 20 degrees, and sunny.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Have a nice day and see you next Thursday.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand's Friday the 13th special, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. Missing Auckland woman Laura Singh has been found alive in Wellsford, north of Auckland.
In a statement this afternoon, police confirmed the 34-year-old was en route to Auckland, where she will receive medical assistance.
Her bank account had not been touched and her phone and her personal items were left in her home.
It's now day 5 of Mark Lundy's retrial, and his brother says he told him he'd used prostitutes on at least 4 occasions before brutal killings of his wife and daughter in 2000.
The youngest of the 3 Lundy siblings, Craig Lundy, gave evidence on the 5th day of his brother's murder retrial at the High Court in Wellington this morning.
Lundy had hired a prostitute in Petone shortly before midnight and told Craig he used prostitutes on 4 occasions prior.
A family of cheetah cubs had their first official viewing at Christchurch's Orana Wildlife Park today.
The 3 boys and 1 girl named Matata, Kanzi, Gorse and Nia have been hand-raised in a quiet vet room for 3.5 months after a troublesome birth.
All 4 cubs are now safe and healthy and took the enclosure with enthusiasm this morning, playing, fighting and chasing each other through the grass.
New Zealand Post plan to put posties on customised mobility scooters so they can deliver both mail and parcels is angering workers who fear a dependent contractor model.
New Zealand Post Ashley Smelts confirmed on Thursday standard mail will be delivered every second day to households in urban areas starting from July in larger towns and cities.
And rolling out to smaller centres over 2 years. Okay, I don't know what's happening here, but a large pod of close to 200 pilot whales have stranded near Farewell Spit near Golden Bay.
The Department of Conservation staff and Project volunteers are currently on the scene.
The tide is due to come in around 5 p.m, which is not long ago, and the whales can only be refloated on a full tide. To sport now, and the Wellington Phoenix have signed former Western Sydney Wanderers wing Kwabena Apia Kubi until the end of the 2015-16 A-League season.
Apia Kubi has made 25 appearances for the Wanderers over 3 seasons at the club, but this season has appeared just twice and left the club by mutual consent at the end of January.
Apia was born in New Zealand of Ghanaian parents and moved to Australia as a 6-year-old.
Let's get to the weather forecast for your part of the country.
Traffic in Auckland, and it is congested from Rosedale to South Auckland. Wow, that would take you about 1.5 hours to get past the city in these conditions.
Gee, that's long. That's all today. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and have a bad day. Oopsies, I mean a good day, and see you next Friday, which is not the 13th.
This is Tom and Ben News for New Zealand, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. A massive king tide will strike Auckland's beaches tomorrow.
The king tide will start at 10:05 a.m. for the east coast and 12:15 p.m. for the west coast.
If we have the footage, we will upload the video tomorrow.
A severely underperforming charter school has been put on notice by Education Minister Hekia Parata.
Hekia met with the Te Punmanawa o Te Wairua School and issued a performance concern and to take action on areas that are a significant concern.
A specialist audit will be there in a month to inspect progress.
The two retailers who won the tender to operate Auckland Airport's duty-free stores were announced today.
Arianta International and Alice Travel Retail Pacific will replace JR duty and DFS duty free from July.
There will be no job losses.
Search crews have failed to find a missing tourist who was missing in Fiordland yesterday.
There are now serious concerns for the safety of the woman after she failed to show up for her aqua taxi at Manapori River at 6:30 p.m.
The description is long auburn hair, 25 years old, and thought to be a German tourist.
Supermarkets in Greyland, Auckland have found themselves at the frontline battle to prevent the spread of the Queensland fruit fly.
Biosecurity officials will be out today reminding shoppers of their obligations.
The Queensland fruit fly damages our fruit industry, and there are only a bunch of them in Queensland.
Let's get to tomorrow's forecast.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and see you later. Good evening. Prince Harry is expected to visit New Zealand before attending the Cemetery Anzac dawn service in Gallipoli.
In the next few months, he will spend several weeks based in Australia while seconded to work with the Australian Defence Force.
Cantabrians may have been woken up by a 3.6 magnitude earthquake overnight.
It struck 10 kilometres east of Christchurch and the depth of 11 kilometres.
So far, there is no damage.
9 people are dead following a mass murder in rural Missouri in which the suspected gunman took his own life.
With the investigation still underway, police said it appeared that 7 people were shot and killed in 4 different residences.
Police found 2 people dead at the first house.
A pilot killed in a helicopter crash near Queenstown was a man of faith, said by his family.
18-year-old James Gardner and 42-year-old Stephen Combe were killed in the crash at Lockie River Basin last week.
South African-born Mr. Combe, who was married with 2 children, was feraled today.
The Chinese New Year festival opened in Albert Park last night. 200,000 people attended the celebration.
Meanwhile, another event was hosted tonight. It was the New Zealand versus Australia at Eden Park in cricket.
The result was New Zealand won 152 runs by 9 outs, and Australia 151 runs to 10 outs.
Let's get to your weather forecast.
The magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
Little Jackie Paper, well he loved that rascal Puff, and he brought him strings and sealing wax and some other fancy stuff. Oh,
Puff the magic.
That's all today. Thank you for watching, and this is the last episode of Season 12.
Season 13 will be announced on our Facebook and Twitter pages, but don't worry, 60 Seconds will continue and Investigation Today will come back on 8th of March.
In the meanwhile, please subscribe and see you in due course.
This is Tom and Ben News New Zealand's 300 subscriber special, with Ben the talking dog and Tom the talking cat.
Kia ora, good evening. A driver who crashed back of an ambulance vehicle in Wanganui then fled the scene and left a clue whoever did it. The clue was a license plate.
St. John paramedics were heading through the intersection towards Victoria Avenue with sirens and lights going when the crash happened.
The car's license plate was knocked off from its plate.
The Easter holidays have begun and the police urge motorists to not exceed 4 kilometres over the actual speed limit.
Also, traffic will be heavy in most parts of the country, with State Highway 1 to past Wellsford is 67 minutes.
Geez, that's long. The 4 kilometre speed tolerance period runs from 4 p.m. today to 6 a.m. Tuesday. So far, no one has died on our roads yet.
California has announced that there is a statewide water restrictions for the first time in history to combat the devastating drought.
Jerry Brown issued the declaration at a press conference, and a rebate program will also be set up to encourage people to replace old appliances with new ones.
Mark Lundy will be psychologically devastated to be sent back to prison.
He was found guilty of killing his wife and daughter in 2000 during the 8-week retrial.
In 2013, the Privy Council in London quashed his convictions, but the retrial in Wellington found him guilty yesterday. Okay, to your weather forecast. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, have a nice day, and thank you for the 300 subscribers and for your support. We will see you next Friday. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. You can like our Facebook page, which is Tom and Ben News New Zealand, and follow our Twitter page at TandBNews4NZ.
You can also email us on tomandbnews4nz at outlook.com. Visit our website, which is tomandbnews4nz.wix.com/home, and we will see you soon.
In the meanwhile, you can click our subscribe button and keep up to date with our videos.
You're watching Tom and Ben News New Zealand on Friday 10th April with Ben the Talking Dog and Tom the Talking Cat.
Kia ora, good evening. A person has died after a truck and a car crashed on a Waikato highway.
The truck and car collided on State Highway 2 at Karapahi near Thames at 6:30 this morning.
The Manawatu Gorge remains closed for the next few weeks after the slip yesterday. The slip happened at 1 p.m. yesterday and it will be assessed by an engineer.
Newly released drone footage reveals the extent of the earthquake damage along a hilltop road between Christchurch and Littleton.
The clip shows that it was littered with boulders, landslides and deep cracks, including overgrown pavement.
Current predictions to reopen the road could be in 2017 or 2018.
A child has been seriously injured after a crash near Timaru on State Highway 1.
Meanwhile, in Mosgiel, a man with a mobility scooter has collided with a vehicle at the intersection of Bush and Gordon Roads. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries.
To your weather now. Okay guys, that's all today. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and see you soon.
In the meantime, you can follow our Facebook page, which is Tom and Ben News New Zealand, and on Twitter at TandBNews4NZ.
Please remain silent and do not skip this part of the video until the last post-tune has finished. Failing to obey this instruction disrespects the New Zealand and Australian troops who served the Gallipoli landings in Turkey during the second year of World War I on 25th of April 1915. The last post-tune will play now.
good evening, and welcome to the 100th anniversary of the Gallipoli landing special.
This year's Anzac Day is heralded as one of the biggest commemorations, with thousands of New Zealanders marking this occasion.
More than 2,500 New Zealand soldiers were killed alongside the Australian troops on Turkey's Gallipoli Peninsula on 25th April 1915.
An estimated 20,000 people attended the dawn service at the new Pukeaho National War Museum in Wellington this morning.
In Auckland, 34,000 people gathered at the War Museum on the Domain, and big numbers were reported on Dunedin and Christchurch.
RSA CEO David Moja expected some very substantial crowds today.
Auckland's Mayor Len Brown made a speech highlighting Anzac Day a remembrance.
Veterans were joined by both young and old supporters as the crowds gathered in silence to remember who fought in this war.
Despite the ponytail hair pulling saga, John Key is in Gallipoli to remember the people who died in this war.
He walked around the memorial sites in Gallipoli and landed in the area on Friday, which is yesterday.
Armed police monitored roadblocks along Stony Street in the small town of Ikabat in prep for John Key's motorcade.
John and his wife Bronagh took in scenic memorials around Lone Pine, the Neck, Quinns Post and Chunuk Bair.
Top Kiwi historian Christopher Pugsley led the couple around the sites, giving them a history lesson.
Meanwhile, back here in New Zealand, a motorbike gang interrupted the last post service in Waiouru by revving up their motorbike engines.
Okay, that's rude. To other news now, and a body has been found on Waikato Expressway, State Highway 1 in Mercer, 70 kilometres north of Hamilton.
The expressway was closed and the serious crash unit is investigating. Okay, to your weather now.
Okay, that's all today. Thank you for watching. Happy Anzac Day. Please subscribe and see you next week. Welcome to Tommy and B News New Zealand. Here is the top stories. Average house price in Auckland tops $800,000.
2 people are in court after a robbery of a Singaporean family yesterday.
And can cats really talk to humans? We will find out soon. A Wellington woman is auctioning a Sir Ed H license plate to fund Nepal following the earthquake.
The death toll from the earthquake is approaching 6,000 people dead and many people are homeless.
The auction closes on May 5th.
The average house price in Auckland has topped to $800,000. The latest figures has showed.
Adjusted for inflation, Auckland's property values are now 27% higher than the 2007 peak.
A warning that this story contains disturbing evidence. Blessie's murderer stabbed Blessie and she drowned in her own blood.
She was stabbed more than 3 times, hastening to her death.
A few days ago, Blessie's killer fired his lawyer and decided to represent himself in the court trial.
Police arrested a man for robbing a Singaporean man in Levin. The man appeared in court and hasn't been charged yet.
Police have set up a complaint line for people who are abused at Gloria Vale.
If you are a previous Gloria Vale member listening to us now, call 0800 400 800. That's 0800 400 800.
An American vet claims that it decoded the language that cats use, believing that cats use more than a dozen sounds that have its own meaning.
The research also highlighted that cats have a specific language they use with people, not other cats.
Meow, Tom.
Okay, Ben, I am not a real cat.
Okay, to the weather forecast.
Okay guys, we hope you liked our new refreshed systematic episode. Thank you for watching and please hit the subscribe button to get new videos before anybody else. Welcome to Tom and V News New Zealand. A third tornado has struck New Zealand this week with the latest tornado in Rotorua.
Earlier this morning, a tornado has ripped through Tauranga, and on Monday, the tornado ripped through Iranui.
This is crazy! 3 tornadoes this week! The 80-year-old who died in the Wellington floods yesterday was a doctor who worked at Auckland University.
Dr. Paul Hill lived in Karori in Wellington, and his body was found beside his car.
Meanwhile, Wellington and the Kapiti Coast are in clean-up mode after the floods. So far, nearly 30 people have been evacuated in the Kapiti Coast.
State Highway 1 between Pukirua Bay and Kapiti is reopened, but however, it is under a stop-go sign because of a slip.
Snow closed some Otago roads overnight and left others covered in black ice.
State Highway 94 between Te Anau and Milford was closed for this reason.
4 people are injured in a car crash near Christchurch. The crash happened at 12:30 p.m, but traffic has caused problems in the area.
The death toll from the Amtrak train derail accident stands at 8.
The train was travelling from Washington DC to New York when it entered a curve at 160 km an hour, which is 99.4 miles per hour if you're watching us from America.
Before we go to the weather forecast, a snake ate a barbecue thongs into a system. We have no idea how the snake did it, but it is weird. Let's go to the weather forecast.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. watching. Please subscribe and have a lovely day in paradise.
Kia ora and welcome to Tom and Ben News New Zealand. Protests turned violent in central Auckland. The protest was about action against poverty in yesterday's budget talks.
Meanwhile, earlier today, TV3 broadcasting legend Paul Henry was about to enter the Sky City Convention Centre, but the protesters slightly pushed him off the entrance and making him to walk away with his bodyguard.
A few police officers were injured in this violent protest made by protest guru Sue Bradford.
Blessy Godtinko's family hugged one another in an almost silent courtroom as a jury delivered its guilty verdict to her rapist and killer.
The jury of 7 men and 5 women returned their verdict at the High Court in Auckland after just 2 hours of deliberations.
Justice Timothy Brewer had indicated name suppression for the 28-year-old killer would be lifted today, but his defence team said the man intends to appeal. Justice Brewer extended the suppression for another 20 days.
Busy Regent's Canal in central London is crowded with narrow boats as much as the paths on either side are with the public.
Every day it's frequented by many runners, walkers, cyclists and just people out for a relaxing stroll.
It can get pretty hectic at the best times with heavy foot traffic, especially for the ducks which waddle the pathway as well.
Debutant New Zealand paceman Matt Henry says the Black Caps let England off the hook after an outstanding start to the first test at Lord's.
New Zealand had England on the ropes at 30 runs, 4 outs, early in the 13th over of the first day. The score now for England is 354 for 7.
New Zealand has to get 355 runs or more to win this test match.
Kiwi golfer Danny Lee opened his latest PGA tournament in Fort Worth, Texas, with a solid 4 under 66 to grab a share of 7th place.
Lee mixed 5 birdies with 3 bogeys on the opening 9 before finishing with a more circumspect 2 birdies over the back 9.
Last weekend, he recorded a meritorious 13th place finish at the PGA Tour event in North Carolina.
Let's get to your weather forecast. Oh dear, apparently we are having a problem with the weather map, so we are telling you the weather verbally.
Auckland has high clouds, low winds and a top temperature of 17 degrees Celsius. Wellington is sunny and 12 degrees. And Christchurch has sunshine 11 degrees Celsius and tonight's temperature -2 degrees Celsius.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos in your hands and have a lovely day in paradise. Welcome to Tom and Ben News New Zealand. After more than a decade on air, Campbell Live is going to be effective from 7:30 p.m. today.
This follows a 6-week review led by Mark Jennings and Mark Weldon.
John Campbell will leave TV3 and we will miss him.
Firefighters who raced to the top of the Sky Tower may have been exposed to measles.
Well, one person who took part of this challenge has returned to Palmerston North and has been diagnosed with measles.
If you are exposed to the measles, then call the public health unit.
A 77-year-old is missing from his retirement home in the North Shore. He was last seen at 5 p.m. yesterday, and he has a medical condition. FIFA President Sepp Blatter said on Thursday that the scandal-tainted body faces more bad news and was accused of corruption.
Blatter refused to step down from the presidential elections, and up to 7 FIFA officials were arrested a few days ago in Zurich.
Last year, scientists discovered a vicious wasp in the Greater Mekong region, making its victims into so-called zombies.
The victims of the wasp is going to be a cockroach.
Thankfully, it doesn't affect humans.
Police are warning drivers that they need to drive safely this Queen's Birthday weekend. A 4-kilometre speed tolerance is set until 6 a.m. Tuesday, the 2nd of June.
Police are hoping for 0 deaths this long weekend.
Torrential rain has left much of central Texas heavily flooded, with 23 people dead or missing.
The rivers in the area are still rising and there is more rain in the forecast.
The storms are expected to dump at least 8 centimeters of rain. Let's get to your forecast.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have a nice day.
You can also follow our Facebook and Twitter pages. We also need 100 Facebook followers and 200 Twitter followers.
Kia ora, good evening, and there's breaking news tonight of former All Black Jerry Collins and his wife died in a car accident in France.
He was admitted to hospital and will be sorely missed.
To other news now, and a suspicious package has blocked off an area in Claudelands Bridge.
Roadblocks are in place at Bryce Street, and motorists are advised to use an alternative route.
A smelly car with rotten meat parked outside a Countdown supermarket has finally been moved.
Hey, you! The Honda car had been parking at Countdown Point Chevalier in Auckland for a month, making a long-distance smelly smell.
Ew!
Plus, this morning on Paul Henry, his reporter Aziz Al-Safin found flies inside it.
Another seal has landed in Auckland, but this time it's in Wattle Down.
The fire service received 111 calls about the seal, but the seal was watched by people until the Department of Conservation arrived.
The seal was returned to sea after his 2-day excursion around the city.
A strong magnitude 6 earthquake has rocked Malaysia's Borneo Island.
There are reports of no damage, fatalities or tsunamis, but it had the depth of 10 kilometers.
Thousands of worms in Texas have clumped in the middle of the highway.
They appeared in a straight line along the highway after recent floods.
No one knows how it got there, but it is weird.
Were you yawning, Ben?
Sort of.
Okay, to your weather now. Oops, we have the graphics problem. Last problem was 2 weeks ago, so let's do the verbal way. Auckland has showers and 16 degrees Celsius.
Wellington has showers and 11 degrees Celsius, and Christchurch is okay and 9 degrees Celsius and a low of chilly -2 degrees Celsius.
It should have been snowing.
But Christchurch got up to 9 degrees Celsius, so how can it snow?
Oh yeah, good point.
Thanks for watching. This is the last episode of Season 13. We will be back in a few weeks with Season 14. Date not yet announced.
In the meanwhile, please subscribe, follow our Facebook and Twitter pages, and 60 Seconds and Investigation Today will take over the spot while we are away. Welcome to Tom and B News New Zealand. Research shows that people with blue eyes are alcoholics.
Researchers found that with the people who have light green, blue, grey and light brown eyes are more likely to get drunk than those who have darker eyes.
Well, it looks like we're both likely the biggest boozers since Ben's eyes are light brown and my eyes are light green.
Yeah, bro, I drink alcohol.
A CSX train carrying hazardous material has derailed in Tennessee.
Hundreds of people evacuated the train which bursted into flames.
Around 5,000 people are evacuated and along with nearby businesses.
BBC says it is cutting more than 1,000 jobs as part of a long-term savings program made more urgent by a shift to online viewing that threatens its funding.
The public service broadcaster is funded by a licence fee, an annual levy imposed on all British households with television, which raised £3.72 billion per year during the 2013-14 financial year.
The ITV and BBC, blah 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 blah.
Are you mocking one of the Dire Straits' song? New Zealand's under-23 men's soccer team opened the Olympic qualifying campaign with a 2-0 win over the Solomon Islands.
Prolific striker Nathan Burns is poised to leave the Wellington Phoenix after agreeing terms with FC Tokyo.
I think you mean poised, don't you?
Yes, I meant poised.
Police are looking for a car that drove through an address in Masterton after police attempted to carry out a routine yesterday.
The white Holden SS Commodore motor vehicle has the registration WS5279. If you see the vehicle, call the Masterton police.
Let's check the weather.
all today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and please subscribe.
Welcome to Tom and Ben News New Zealand. Here's the top stories. A polar blast causing headaches in the South Island.
The top West Coast cops are suing their boss for $1.5 million.
And an alien sighting. Really? Do we believe in aliens?
Where was that?
I will let you know soon. Kia ora, good evening. A minute's silence is held in London today after the 7/7 disaster.
And that was 10 years ago today. Everyone will gather at Hyde Park to pay tribute.
London fireman Stavros Maringos was one of the first on the scene when the bus was attacked.
A polar blast is creating headaches in the South Island and the Central North Island.
The snow is dumping in the South Island and the Central North Island.
Meanwhile, in Auckland, the people will have a wet journey home as thunderstorms and heavy rain are forecast.
Now, let's get copping. And 3 West Coast cops are suing their boss for $1.5 million.
What happened was the superintendent made comments to the media that portrayed them as incompetent.
The officers have been paid on leave for more than 2 months.
An injured man was forced to walk down 5 kilometers overnight to find help after pulling himself from his burning car in Hawke's Bay.
The 38-year-old crashed his vehicle in a ditch at Ellsthorpe late last night.
He is now in Hawke's Bay Regional Hospital.
A 62-year-old man from Fraser Cove has witnessed something strange in the sky.
5 minutes later, another orange dot drifted to the right. He claims that he saw a flying saucer.
Well, it's a bit of a mystery.
To your weather, and before we get to the weather, Mary sent this from Apia in Samoa, where it's hot and sunny, and here we are back in New Zealand with the rain and thunder. Thanks, Mary.
That's the episode. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have a nice day.
You can also follow our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Which is listed on the right-hand side. Kia ora, good evening. State Highway 2 between Gisborne and Opotiki will remain closed overnight after snow and ice made road conditions too treacherous to travel on.
Hundreds of people are still without power, and the highway south of Gisborne to Wairoa is down to 1 lane as the East Cape endures its coldest weather in decades.
Snow started falling yesterday, closing SH2 between Wairoa and Gisborne.
Microsoft Office 2016 for Mac users is here, but it is only available for Office 365 subscribers.
The new Mac version has finally caught up with the PC version, but it was released a little bit earlier. The final copy for those who don't have an Office 365 subscription will be available on September.
Well, we have Office 365, and Microsoft Word was a bit sluggish at first, but then it worked fine.
The driver of a tanker carrying a load of animal blood that plunged over the side of the Manawatu Gorge hung in the cab in a life-threatening position for 30 minutes before he was rescued.
The tanker will need 6,000 litres of the blood pumped out before it can be lifted from where it has remained hanging overnight over the edge of the road in the gorge.
The driver only had a bump on his head, but otherwise he's fine.
A New Zealander has made international headlines after causing a scene on a trans-Tasman flight when the person in front of him reclined their seat.
38-year-old roofer Shane Matthew Diedrichs appeared in the Brisbane Magistrates Court yesterday for offensive and disorderly behaviour aboard a flight from Wellington to Brisbane in November. A mix of emerging talent and established players has been named in the New Zealand Barbarians to face the Murray All Blacks at Eden Park.
The clash next Saturday will be the first between the two teams since 2010 Sanitary Series, when the Murray All Blacks defeated the Barbarians 37-31 in Whangarei.
Hurricanes forward Archie Tapia has been ruled out through injury.
Is there something wrong with our microphone?
Yes.
Well, let's get to the weather, and Auckland, it is 10 degrees, low of 4 and sunny. Well, this is the coldest winter we ever had. Tomorrow it is 12 degrees, sunny and a low of 4.
Well, that's all today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and please subscribe.
Are we still having the microphone issue?
A little bit, not much.
Oh wait, yours is working now. Is mine working?
Yes, Ben. Kia ora, good evening. Air New Zealand's passengers travelling to and from Bali are being offered to change flights with no penalty fee.
The ash cloud disrupted flights in the past, and the flight from Bali to Auckland has landed this morning.
So, if you're heading to Bali, just check with your travel agent or your flight carrier before you go there.
New Zealand is experiencing increased rates of influenza this season.
The recorded rates of influenza have nearly reached last year's peak, despite flu season not ending until September.
The South Island recorded 34 cases of the B strain, while the North Island 32.
So don't forget to get your flu injection.
I might as well go now.
The Starbucks coffee franchise has entered the African market.
The branch in Johannesburg is going to be open in 2016.
In recent years, it has expanded to China and India. Remember when a black man in Paris tried to enter the train and the Chelsea fans didn't allow him to enter the train?
Oh yeah.
Well, guess what?
What is it?
They were in court today.
Ha! Shame!
They appeared in court and it will last for 2 days.
Ha! Shame! Let's have a look at Wednesday's forecast.
you for watching, have a nice day, and please subscribe.
Kia ora and welcome to Tom and Ben News New Zealand. A large pig has eluded captors after going on the lam in West Auckland.
Facebook user Sherelle Lee posted to the stuff.co.nz Facebook page just after 11 on Thursday morning to say a porker was on the loose on Hobsonville Road in the suburb of Hobsonville.
She said bystanders had been trying to round up the road hog but had not had any success.
Bacon. The government will spend $28.6 million on 3 technology-focused graduate schools in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch over the next 4 years.
The information and communications technology schools will be hosted by local territory institutions in each city and form a key part of the government's attempts to make New Zealand a hub for technology businesses.
The Auckland school will be hosted by the University of Auckland and the University of Waikato in a media conference at Christchurch today, saying satellite locations will be available in Hamilton and Tauranga. Toyota is recalling 625,000 hybrid vehicles globally, mostly the Prius model favoured by the eco-conscious over a defect that can bring the car to an unexpected stop.
The Japanese car maker said on Wednesday the problem was linked to software that controls a power converter, similar to an issue last year that led to the recall of 1.9 million Prius cars.
Toyota, the world's biggest car maker, added that no accidents or injuries had been reported. Kiwi golfer Lydia Ko has won the Best Female Golfer Award at the ESPY Awards today.
The 17-year-old golf phenom beat current world number 1 NB Park and world number 3 Stacey Lewis.
Also nominated for Best International Athlete, won by Lionel Messi, Ko was the only female nominated for the award, which also included nominees Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewis Hamilton and Novak Djokovic.
We will get to the weather without the map because we are having a redesign, so hopefully the new weather map will be available tomorrow.
So, Auckland has cloud and 16 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow is 15 degrees with cloud.
Wellington has showers and 14 degrees, and tomorrow is the same but 13 degrees.
Well, that's all today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and have a good day.
You can also subscribe to Golden Minecart, who runs Tom and Ben News United Kingdom, and also subscribe to Tom and Ben News of America Takes Action, which is also run by a different person.
In the meanwhile, you can follow our Facebook and Twitter pages listed on the right-hand corner. Good evening. As many as 5 cars are believed to have been involved in a crash after a truck collided with a bus in central Auckland this morning.
The incident happened on Simon Street at the intersection with Kurunga Happy Road at 8:45 a.m.
One person suffered minor injuries and has been taken to Auckland Hospital as a precaution. Traffic in the area is delayed as a result.
Rumours are rife on Instagram that John Key's son, Max Key, has proposed to his girlfriend, but he's known to prank followers before.
An Instagram image shows that the Prime Minister's son with his girlfriend, Amelia Finlayson, on the summit of the Haleakala volcano on the Hawaiian island of Maui.
It shows the pair holding hands with Max Key, who turned 20 in May, looking downwards at his girlfriend's hands.
Labour wants to give businesses more flexibility and control over when they pay their tax.
Party leader Andrew Little has put up a proposal that would give businesses the option of choosing to pay their tax through a system similar to the PAYE system rather than in 3 big installments.
Mr. Little announced his proposal in a speech this morning.
The Manawatu Gorge will remain closed for the rest of the day after a number of rock falls early this morning.
The gorge, which is frequently affected by slips, was closed to traffic just after 4 a.m. today.
The New Zealand Transport Agency says the route will be assessed tonight.
Sorry, we meant that it will be reassessed tonight.
Oops, sorry.
A crowd of about 15,000 gathered at the world's steepest street in Dunedin today for the annual Jaffa races.
About 75,000 Jaffas rolled down the world's steepest street during the fundraising event, which this year will benefit Make-A-Wish, Surf Lifesaving New Zealand and Parent Centre.
3 races were run with up to 25,000 of the sweets in each race.
Okay, let's get to your weather, and we start with the winterless north. Oh wait, sorry, it's the deepest deep south, and it's cloudy and cold for this area.
A mix of showers, sun and clouds in the middle of the South Island, and it's 12 degrees and below south of Westport.
To the lower North Island, and it's cloudy from Otaki and southwards, but sunny and warm for Napier and Hastings.
The central North Island is cloudy and a warm 16 degrees for Coromandel.
The winterless north is having a mix of showers and clouds. Auckland is 15 degrees and a warm 16 degrees for Whangarei and Kaitaia.
And frolic in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
Together they would travel in a boat with billowed sail, and Jackie, he kept a lookout, perched on Puff's gigantic tail, and noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came, and pirates...
That's all today. Thanks for watching and please subscribe. Good evening. The Apple Watch has finally arrived in New Zealand. Yay!
The price for the Apple Watch is 600 New Zealand dollars.
If you have the Apple Watch, please comment down below of your review about it.
Volkswagen has sold more cars than Toyota this year.
I have no idea why you have been yawning then, but Volkswagen has sold 5.04 million vehicles, while Toyota sold 5.02 million vehicles.
Well, good on Volkswagen, and I'm so sorry that I was yawning earlier just now.
Okay, then. The 14-year-old who killed dairy shop owner Arun Kumar has been sentenced to 6 years in jail. He can apply for parole in 3 years and 3 months.
But however, his 13-year-old sidekick was found not guilty to manslaughter.
The teen appeared at the High Court today before Justice Lang.
Spark has announced that its paging network is closing down in 2017.
The system was introduced to New Zealand in 1988.
But in the past 2 years, the paging network in New Zealand has declined 65%.
South Auckland police are investigating an assault that happened earlier this month.
The 21-year-old woman was walking to a friend's house, but she was grabbed by a man at Rongamai Reserve on July 18.
He's described as Polynesian and 6 feet tall.
Okay, let's check out the weather forecast.
Bye, 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 plane, once upon a sky plane. Bye, bye, hush-a-bye, lullaby plane.
Way out in London Airport in hangar number 4, a lonely little biplane lived whose name was Evermore. His working days were over, and no more would he sail. Upon his wings up in the clouds, flying the Royal Mail.
Bye, 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 plane, once upon a sky plane. Bye, bye, hush-a-bye, lullaby plane.
That's all today. Thanks for watching and please subscribe. Welcome to Tom and Ben News New Zealand. Younger people's love affair with headphones could prove problematic down the track.
An Auckland University study has found the number of elderly New Zealanders suffering from hearing loss is expected to double in the next 50 years.
Turning the volume up real loud can cause hearing damage. Police are still working to identify a dead man outside a block of flats in Palmerston North.
The body was found by a member of the public at Taieri Court at 7:30 a.m. yesterday.
A scene examination is taking place tonight.
Police are still searching for a guy called Abdul Hafiz who caused a school into lockdown this afternoon.
The schools in Papatoetoe were placed into temporary lockdown while armed police searched a nearby property and recovered 2 firearms.
It was thought that he was threatening his family.
A 3-year-old girl from Malaysia's body has been discovered in Onehunga.
The post-mortem was taken this afternoon.
Her mother was taken to hospital for treatment with superficial injuries.
Let's get to your weather forecast.
South Australia is our home, heave away, haul away. When we get back no more we'll roam, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you're rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. I thought I heard the captain say.
That's all today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and please subscribe. Tom and Ben News New Zealand. A 10-year-old who last night filmed themselves driving the wrong side of the motorway and uploaded to Facebook have been charged with reckless driving.
Police alleged that they were driving 100 kilometers per hour on a 50 kilometer per hour zone.
The legal driving age to drive on New Zealand's roads is 16 and they were 6 years under the legal limit.
Police has released the pedestrian that was hit by the milk tanker in the Bay of Plenty last night.
The 44-year-old Alexander Trevor Forbes Taiatini of Te Puke, he was walking along State Highway 2 near Paengaroa on Thursday when he was struck by the trailer.
Actually, milk tanker, not trailer. Police say alcohol could be the contributing factor to the accident.
Parts of the South Islands will still have the drought until next February.
North Canterbury is the most driest area in the South Island at the moment.
Farmers in Otago are also struggling with this drought.
A 13-year-old girl who died after drowning in a Southland bay was wearing the wrong life jacket.
Elinda Finney of Balcluta was on a powerboat with her father in Surat Bay near Orotwaka on January 15th last year when the boat overturned in rough waters.
She was found face down in the water wearing a brown camouflage jacket. Okay, let's head to your weather forecast.
In a neat little town they call Belfast, apprentice to trade I was bound, and many's an hour sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town, till bad misfortune came o'er me, that caused me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band.
Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds, you would think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders.
That's all today. Have a good day. Thanks for watching and please subscribe.
Oh yeah, Tom, before we leave out of the studio, can I tell you a quick joke?
Okay.
So I went into the Wickle store. They said they have 2,000. They have the the 2016 calendars available, but they have 207.
I get it. This is Tom and B News New Zealand with Ben the Talking Dog and Tom the Talking Cat. Kia ora, good evening. 1 million people have been evacuated from their homes in Chile after an 8.3 magnitude quake that killed at least 10 people and triggered tsunami waves along its northern coast.
Wednesday night's earthquake was the sixth most powerful in the history of geologically volatile Chile and the strongest anywhere in the world this year, officials said.
The tsunami waves were up to 5 meters in height.
The principal who introduced Cambridge exams to New Zealand says he believes the convocation still has a place here as a top school opts out.
Former Auckland Grammar headmaster John Morris said he was surprised at Westlake Boys High School's decision to solely offer NCEA, as he says the local system is still a work in progress.
The North Shore School says it believes NCEA is an excellent system which now has international recognition, meaning an alternative program is no longer needed.
A 10-year-old boy remains in a critical condition at Dunedin Hospital after receiving a head injury while at an Invercargill school.
Emergency services were called to an incident at the school around 8:35 a.m.
Police won't say what occurred or how the boy sustained his injuries, but it was a tragic incident. Victim support have been at the school to assist staff and students.
4 cars got caught up in live power lines after they came down on a South Island highway this afternoon.
Police said that no one was injured in the incident on the coastal highway near Mapua between Nelson and Motueka.
The lines were believed to have been brought down by a tree felled in the area.
2 Auckland transport staff are in the gun for parking illegally yesterday across a footpath and broken yellow lines.
The women were photographed inspecting a bus stop in Tiverton Road, New Windsor, while their car with a large AT logo on its door was parked nearby.
This is strange. The third and fourth Auckland Council workers who parked illegally were the first ones who parked illegally in 3 weeks.
The last time was Len Brown, wasn't it, on a loading zone? To sport now, and well, the English rugby team has been mocking our country's haka.
Instead of doing the real moves and saying the real words, they mixed it with the Macarena and naming it the Hakarena.
That's pretty rude, I'd say, and remember last year we reported about TMZ doing the same thing?
Oh yes, I remember that, but we reported
That it was back in 2013, yes. Now let's go to your weather forecast for tomorrow.
Okay guys, that's all today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and see you next week. Hopefully next week will be the 400 subscribers special if we get 400 subscribers this week.